Heraclitus of Ephesus was a pre-Socratic Greek philosopher, and a native of the city of Ephesus, then part of the Persian Empire. He was of distinguished parentage. Little is known about his early life and education, but he regarded himself as self-taught and a pioneer of wisdom. From the lonely life he led, and still more from the apparently riddled and allegedly paradoxical nature of his philosophy and his stress upon the needless unconsciousness of humankind, he was called the obscure and the weeping philosopher. Heraclitus was famous for his insistence on ever-present change as being the fundamental essence of the universe, as stated in the famous saying, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, see Pantarai, below." This position was complemented by his stark commitment to a unity of opposites in the world, stating that the path up and down are one and the same. Through these doctrines Heraclitus characterized all existing entities by pairs of contrary properties, whereby no entity may ever occupy a single state at a single time. This, along with his cryptic utterance that all entities come to be in accordance with this logos, literally, word, reason, or account, has been the subject of numerous interpretations. The main source for the life of Heraclitus is Diogenes Laertius, although some have questioned the validity of his account as a tissue of Hellenistic anecdotes, most of them obviously fabricated on the basis of statements in the preserved fragments. Diogenes said that Heraclitus flourished in the 69th Olympiad, 504–501 BC. All the rest of the evidence, the people Heraclitus is said to have known, or the people who were familiar with his work, confirms the following. His dates of birth and death are based on a lifespan of 60 years, the age at which Diogenes says he died, with the floruit in the middle. Heraclitus was born to an aristocratic family in Ephesus, in the Persian Empire, in what is now called present-day Efes, Turkey. His father was named either Blusen or Heraclitus. Diogenes says that he abdicated the kingship, Basilia, in favor of his brother, and Strabo confirms that there was a ruling family in Ephesus descended from the Ionian founder, Heraclitus, which still kept the title and could sit in the chief seat at the games, as well as a few other privileges. How much power the king had is another question. Ephesus had been part of the Persian Empire since 547 and was ruled by a satrap, a more distant figure, as the great king allowed the Ionians considerable autonomy. Diogenes says that Heraclitus used to play knucklebones with the youths in the temple of Artemis, and when asked to start making laws he refused, saying that the constitution, polita, was ponera, which can mean either that it was fundamentally wrong or that he considered it toilsome. Two extant letters between Heraclitus and Darius I, quoted by Diogenes, are undoubtedly later forgeries. With regard to education, Diogenes says that Heraclitus was wondrous, thaumazios, which, as Socrates explains in Plato's Theaetetus and Gorgias, is the beginning of philosophy, from childhood. Diogenes relates that Sotion said he was a hearer of Xenophanes, which contradicts Heraclitus' statement. So says Diogenes, that he had taught himself by questioning himself. Burnet states in any case that Xenophanes left Ionia before Heraclitus was born. Diogenes relates that as a boy Heraclitus had said he knew nothing but later claimed to know everything. His statement that he heard no one but questioned himself, can be placed alongside his statement that the things that can be seen, heard and learned are what I prize the most. Diogenes relates that Heraclitus had a poor opinion of human affairs. He believed that Hesiod and Pythagoras lacked understanding though learned, and that Homer and Archelaus deserved to be beaten. Laws needed to be defended as though they were city walls. Timon is said to have called him a mob reviler. Heraclitus hated the Athenians and his fellow Ephesians, wishing the latter wealth and punishment for their wicked ways. Says Diogenes, finally, he became a hater of his kind, misanthrope, and wandered the mountains, making his diet of grass and herbs. Heraclitus' life as a philosopher was interrupted by dropsy. The physicians he consulted were unable to prescribe a cure. Diogenes lists various stories about Heraclitus' death. In two versions, Heraclitus was cured of the dropsy and died of another disease. In one account, however, the philosopher buried himself in a cowshed, expecting that the noxious damp humor would be drawn out of him by the warmth of the manure, while another says he treated himself with a liniment of cow manure and, after a day prone in the sun, died and was interred in the marketplace. According to Neves of Cyzicus, after smearing himself with dung, Heraclitus was devoured by dogs.